I'm going to be reading it in the accent.
Amelia,
Congratulations, you are about to bring a new puppy into your home and are committed to training him to be the best dog he can be. That is just the kind of enthusiasm we need as a new owner. Are you wondering when to start training? The correct answer is the minute you bring him home. Years ago, trainers believed you need to wait until a puppy is 6 months old before you can retain any training information. Happily, times, people reviews, and people's view I have changed. Good breeders start handling their puppies as well their as soon as they're born, and so the puppies become accustomed to human touch, even before their eyes and ears open. Puppies are held, the nails are clipped, and they're gently combed, introducing them to the sensations of routine that will become part of their lives forever. As the puppies open their eyes, they grow more adventurous and begin to explore their environments. Breeders expose them to new stimuli, a variety of flooring and footing, and the noise of a dishwasher, the vacuum cleaner, and the TV, and the activity of a busy household. Many breeders put a crate into the puppy's play area and make the puppies completely comfortable while they rest and sleep in their little dens. One of the advantages of getting their puppy from knowledgeable breeders is that a lot of good habits have already been established. The puppy has slept in a crate and has had his nails trimmed weekly, has had a few baths, and is accustomed to human handling. Continue you Continue those good habits or be you'll be off to a great start. Stop reinforcing these habits for just a week and your puppy will forget everything its breeder taught him and become an unmanaged nuisance. That may that may be cute for a day, but not for much longer. Razor sharp teeth hurt. It's important that puppy proof the room of your puppy will be staying in. The kitchen is a popular choice because of the usually where everyone congregates and the floor can be handle accidents. Fill his crate with some safe toys and a cozy blanket. That has scent of his mother and litter mates on it, and encourage him to nap inside using treats. Block open doorways with baby gates and a secure loose cupboards with bungee cords. Uh, Take your puppy out immediately on leash after meals and naps, returning to the same spot and encouraging him to eliminate by using the same word. At night, bring the crate into your bedroom, but resist the urge to let him sleep with you. If you allow this at the first night, he will sleep with you forever. Once he has had his vaccinations, enroll him in a puppy kindergarten class. These sessions may benefit you even more than your puppy. They allow him to socialize with other dogs, but also teach them that he must follow your cues despite the distractions. The class will teach you the right tone of voice to use, gentle but firm, and the appropriate hand signals to reinforce your verbal cues. Once your puppy is well trained, he will be a joy to live with. He will be welcomed in your community and will make you proud whether you're traveling with him, entering guests at home, or just hanging out with family. Understand he wants to please you, but he needs consistency and clear instructions to be able to do it. So, yeah. So, setting the stage. When puppy is about 3 weeks old, they just beginning to wobble around and venture from their mother. They instinctively walk away from their sleeping areas to relieve themselves. You might say the puppies are naturally house trained, so that you bring your puppy home for the first time, you'll need to take over where Mother Nature leaves off. Your first step in house training will be to teach your puppy to relieve himself only in appropriate areas, approved areas. Then your duties will consist of teaching your puppy to acceptable doggy behavior. In and around the house. That area is off limits. How to react to strangers at the door, how to interact with young children, etc. To achieve your house training goals, you must be rigidly consistent, alert, and patient. Because even your puppy's bladder has matured enough to hold it a little longer between potty trips, you must not think of him as house trained. Your puppy still has a lot to learn. There are several approaches to the initial phase of house training. Stick with whichever method you choose, so that your pup won't get confused and you don't become frustrated. Remember, to that success depends not only on the age of your puppy, but also on your level of experience with dogs, the type of home in which you live, apartment, condo, single family house, etc. The layout of your home, multi-level or single level, your daily routine, your work schedule, and other members of your family. In simple terms, house training comes down to getting your puppy to the right place at the right time. Time and space. Your puppy's age and where he came from will determine how quickly and easily he can be house trained. 3-week-old pups instantly want to keep their sleeping areas clean, but those instincts are stifled when humans step into the picture to prepare the pups to live with people. An 8 to 10-week-old puppy from a responsible breeder, for example, may have the same initial crate training or exposure to crate. He probably will be familiar with an exercise pen or as well as well which he shared with his litter mates. The puppies are the same age. Puppies of the same age that come from pet stores or shelters, however, is often more difficult to house train. It's not because the pups are less intelligent, it's simply because no one started to train them. They have had a relief they have had to relieve themselves wherever they happen to be. In pet stores, that means soiling their crates, which makes house training at home more difficult. In shelters, there are generally far fewer very young puppies, and therefore old pups and dogs are usually kept in a kennel stalls with concrete floors. The older ones may have the advantage of being taken for walks by volunteers several times a day. But it's physical exercise, not house training. Neither group of animals can be expected to understand our idea of cleanliness, even though they can definitely be house trained. Barring the existence of medical problems, it's easy to understand why it would take longer and require a lot more patience. Where you get your puppy also determines how much information you have about him. You know that a pup from a responsible breeder has been at a breeder kennel since birth. A pup or an older dog from a shelter usually comes to you with little to no information about his previous life, partly depending on whether he was relinquished by his previous owners or picked up as a stray. Dogs end up in shelters for countless reasons. Not all shelter dogs were neglected and mistreated. Shelter dogs owners shouldn't use this as an excuse for the dog's miserable misbehavior or difficulty in training. They must need a positive outlook and get their pets going in the right direction. Regardless of a shelter dog's actual age, begin house training an older dog as you would an 8 to 10-week-old puppy, until you and the dog are better acquainted, and can begin to understand each other. It may take some more time and some more practice on your part. Rescue resources. Most breeds clubs have their own rescue programs whereby knowledgeable experts put adoptable dogs through an evaluation process to ensure that the dog goes to the best home. Finding the right adoption fit early on hopefully reduces the likelihood a rescue revolver. When they are picked up from the to be checked by a veterinarian and spayed or neutered thereafter, or before during being adopted at the latest. Most breed rescue groups are average for new dogs to live in foster homes for a while before they adopt it out, so that a knowledgeable person can evaluate the nature and extent of the previous training, if any. The dog's temperament, his reactions to other dogs, cats, and kids, the dog's house training status. Groups that rescue dogs of all breeds and mixed breeds also perform general evaluations, even if little is known about the cage. About if even if little is known about the dogs when they come in, when they are taken in, these rescue volunteers and foster families try to learn all they possibly can about the dogs while readying them for adoption, so that they can be informed potential owners of their findings. Fear factor. Beware of the fear phase, which affects older puppies between 4 to 6 months of age. During this time, puppies shy away from or seem to be frightened by perfectly normal sights or sounds that they have never reacted to before. If you get a puppy at this age, or when your puppy reaches this stage, do not coddle or try to soothe him. Never pick him up to cuddle or comfort him or coo at him. Saying things like, "Poor little dog, it's okay." These actions will tell your puppy that it's acceptable to be shy or frightened, and that you approve of his reactions. To minimize this fear during house training, find a quiet spot where your puppy can relieve himself rather than at the curbside of bustling street. If you go about your daily routine in a normal way, though your puppy will usually grow out of this phase quickly. Another thing to avoid at all times before, during, or after this fear phase is pulling back on your dog's leash when meeting friendly dogs. It's normal for an 8-week-old puppy to pee and poop up to 20 times in 24 hours, whereas an adult dog may go 3 to 5 times a day. 20 times in 24 hours. That's a lot. And I do take my dog out so much. Okay. For people, this is common puppy training mistake. Will actually increase the puppy's fear and make him aggressive. He needs your upbeat voice telling him it's all well in his world. He does not need protection from friendly dogs or people. In fact, the opposite is true. He needs the socialization with people and friendly dogs as much as possible. If you're not sure of approaching a dog or a person, distract your puppy with a cheerful chatter and walk on by. Increasingly enough, the true fear phase may last only a few days. Some dogs go through it in one brief episode, while others never experience it at all. The older dog. If your dog is a year or older, he will never he and he's never been house trained. You will have to have you have a real job on your hands. Be prepared to put a plenty of quality time with this dog. You will need to be extremely patient and 100% consistent. Don't take your eyes off your dog while training when even for a minute, especially if your dog is a male. Males tend to leave a few drops after a quick, easy miss leg lift, whereas females squat and fully empty their bladders. If he lifts his leg on a piece of furniture where you don't see it, he'll go back to use the same spot even weeks out later. And this could happen all over the house. If you have been trying to train an older dog, one thing in your favor is that the dog's plumbing is mature. He can wait longer than a very young puppy can wait between potty breaks. So this part, house training, could possibly be accomplished in a much shorter time than his younger counterpart. The reason for selecting. For house training purposes, it's very best time to get a puppy at when at least one family member will be home at almost all day long. However, quick shopping trips can be accomplished during predictable puppy nap times, which is after a walk or a meal. The most difficult house training situation occurs when the puppy is brought into the home where everyone is at work or school during the day. Puppies cannot house train themselves, and their new owner's schedule. For reason alone, this reason alone, it is more successful for such a family to bring with an older house trained dog. But if your heart is set on the puppy, wait to get him until the start of a vacation period so that you can at least someone, if not anyone, in your family will be home all day to start the house training routine and get the puppy acquainted with his new life and surroundings. Sorry, I got a notification. By the time your regular weekday work schedule starts again, you will have introduced your pup to its crate and its safe room or exercise pen where he will stay safely. Then no one is home by getting him used to a house training routine at his crate and a doggy pen while people are around. He will be more comfortable when he is left home alone. Accidents. Let's face it, accidents will happen. No one is perfect, dog teacher, and no puppy instantly learns how, when, and where it's gonna go. Supervision is key to prevention is your key to success. If you catch your puppy in the act of eliminating where he shouldn't, you just show him your displeasure instantly, but briefly. Then, if possible, move him to where he's supposed to go. There's no need for shouting or yelling, or definitely no hitting. A single firm no or shame is enough. Let's go until. Okay. Instead of the to use a firm such as send with a scowl. With a scowl, it's a short, sharp, and seems to be a easily understood by pups as don't do that again. And don't even think about it. Never make the mistake of using your pup's name with correction. You should only use his name to get his attention and whenever he's being a good dog. Take a moment to reconstruct the scenario of this incident. Was anyone keeping an eye on him? Were you paying attention? Were you paying attention when he circled or started running back and forth? When was he last taken out? Your primary job with a puppy is to, or a new dog, if any age, is to pay attention at first. Someone must watch him after every moment he's awake. Don't think that your pup is house trained just because he hasn't had an accident in 10 days. That's a great start, but if you let your guard ease, unnecessary accidents will occur. You can count on it. When an accident has happened in the house, put your puppy in his crate while you clean up a mess. You don't need to the culprit as a suspector. Then use any of the numerous products how to mark and remove such stain and the odor. Remember, urine and fecal odors send a strong signal to the puppy to use the same spot again. After the accident has cleaned up and you've calmed down, then have fun and playtime with your puppy so you can both get over the accident. By now, you may have figured out that why we strongly suggest that you get your puppy at all day or of a vacation period. Extremely difficult, more so for the puppy. If no one is home all day, if you are the only able to have some vacation time to start house training. When you just get your dog, then you'll need to go home to let him out during your lunch breaks and find someone to help once your family's normal schedule resumes after first taking your new puppy out to relieve himself. It is best if someone go play with him for a little while, give him lunch, take him outside, go potty. Then they should leave him clean fed and constant in his safe area until other family returns. Okay, I'm gonna stop there. Let me get a bookmark. Alright. Peace.